Please join me in welcoming an exceptional young man to the stage. Patrick, could you join me? Patrick.
Good evening. My name is Patrick Gould. I'm a 20-year-old junior at the University of Tennessee in Knoxville. Thank you. Go Vols. I've had type 1 diabetes for almost 8 years now. While I consider myself somewhat of a veteran of this disease, there are still new challenges I face every day. Even when you think there couldn't possibly be any more curveballs this disease throws at you, it never fails to trick you with something else. As you all know, managing this disease is a full-time job. No vacations, no sick days. All day, every day is a continuous battle to keep our blood sugars in target range. But that is why we are here for this conference. We came together these 3 days to unify in the fight against T1D. Now, I come from a very unique family, as you all heard. I'm the oldest of 8 children. There's Andrew, who's 18, Nick, who's 16, Sam, who's 15, Sarah, who's 13, Oliver, who's 8, Annie, who's 6, and Maggie, who's 5. We've been... Hey, she deserves the applause, not me, so... We've been raised Catholic, if our large family didn't make that apparent already. But as large as our family is, we're still very close. When I was diagnosed with type 1 diabetes in July of 2004, it wasn't just my life that changed, but my family's as well. From then on, our family would learn and experience through me all the ins and outs of having this disease. After I was diagnosed, I remember thinking to myself about what it would be like to have a sibling with this disease. While I would never wish this on any of them, I still entertained the idea, thinking it might be easier to cope if I knew someone else was going through the same thing. Unfortunately, my thoughts became an unwanted reality. Early one January morning, my parents came into my room asking to borrow my meter. They returned a few minutes later, telling me that they had just checked Sarah's blood sugar and it was dangerously high. My parents then took my sister to our family doctor so he could tell us what we already knew. Sarah also had type 1 diabetes. I was extremely distraught. Never would I ever want any of my siblings to have to deal with this disease. And if we thought having one person in the house with type 1 diabetes was hard enough, well, now we have 2. The story doesn't end here. Type 1 diabetes decided to throw us 2 more curveballs. Over the next 2 years, 2 more of my siblings, Sam and Oliver, were diagnosed with type 1 diabetes. Now, 4 of our 8 kids had developed the disease. Being the oldest of 8 kids already carries with it its inherent responsibilities. When I lived at home, I would help out by being the built-in babysitter, chauffeur, all rolled into one. Now that I'm up at college, the distance makes it hard for me to help in that regard. Now, the brother next in line, Andrew, has to fill that position. He is the stand-in leader while I'm away. But I can see my siblings with type 1 diabetes stepping up in that regard as well. The other day, I watched Sarah help Oliver put his pump side in. It was really cool to watch those 2 work together because each other knows what the other is going through. It was really nice to know that I had successfully passed the baton, where the older ones helping take care of the younger ones. Needless to say, the families of the people with type 1 diabetes understand this struggle with the disease. It impacts the family more than we can recognize. My brother Nick will remind Oliver to test his sugars all the time. I've had Annie ask me when she too will get diabetes. My dad, he was the president of the Middle Tennessee chapter of JDRF, and my siblings work hard every walk just to raise money for each walk. Day and night, the members of my family who don't actually have type 1 diabetes are still worrying and fighting the disease as if they did. As a family, we understand that when we work together to make sure that everyone is healthy, everyone is positively impacted. If blood sugars are in line, then everyone's in a better mood. And if everybody's in a better mood, there are a lot less fights between us. As you can imagine, collaboration is critical to our family. But as I take this disease with me to college and on into adulthood, I have to make all of the blood sugar decisions on my own. My mom can't be there to look at my plate, count the carbs, tell me how much insulin to take. This is my disease now. Unfortunately, I can't always control it on my own. I have to make sure that my close friends know what to look out for if I'm not acting like myself, and how to help me. Complete privacy about my health history would not be a safe option. I just want to be treated like everyone else. I sometimes let my blood sugar run a little high so that I'm not caught too low and need food. It's hard for me to carry everything that I need in my pants pockets. Women get away with carrying a purse without a second thought from anyone. But for me to be really prepared, I have to have an extra meter, extra test strips, lancets, glucose tablets, and my insulin pen. And I realized when I was about 14 that I did not want to carry a bag with diabetes supplies anymore. It's difficult because when I have my checkup with my endocrinologist and my hemoglobin A1C is not where it should be, and I know that I have to weigh my lifestyle versus my long-term health. It's a battle that I fight every day. But being at college, I can see that my biggest responsibility is being a role model for my siblings, especially the 3 who have the disease. I have to be optimistic to show them that they too can control this. I have to give them hope to let them know that it will be over soon. I have to take all the support that I feel here and bring it back to them and assure them that there are many people here working hard to make sure that this disease becomes a thing of the past. If there's one thing about the Gould family you should know, it's that we work hard and we never quit. I consider you all part of my type 1 diabetes family. And just like in my family, we have to work together. From corporate sponsors to volunteers to staff, we all have to collaborate to achieve our goal. Together, the people in this room, through their hard work this weekend, are changing the lives not only of the Gould family, but those in my larger type 1 diabetes family as well. Thank you for working hard, and thank you for never quitting until a cure is found.
So Patrick, thank you to you and your family. Very impressive young man. And my son will be going off to college in about 1.5 years. I'd like you to spend some time with him. See if we can get some things to rub off there. Thank you. Thank you for being here tonight.